All right, good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's well. Thanks for jumping on. I'm completely fine with just continuing to do some ring like we've been doing the last couple of weeks because I think it's been really helpful. You see, I've got the objections up there for ideas. I'd recommended that you guys think of some things. So did anybody have anything in particular they wanted to script that they've dealt with lately that they felt like would be good to have some other input or approach on? Not everybody at once.
I've just been dealing with people who act like they're lost when I call them.
You act like they're lost?
Yeah, they'll be like, yeah, I'm just looking. Like, that's all I hear is just looking.
Looking.
I got one I can do.
I think that's a good one to do, actually.
I mean, I think that's a good one too. Just hold your thought 1 second, Janine. Don't lose it.
Yeah.
I want what yours is too. But who wants to script? Brandon, why don't you script with Megan?
Yeah, I'll do
Megan,
it.
you be the lead and let Brandon call you.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, ring.
Hello?
Hey, is this Megan?
Yeah.
Hey, Megan, it's Brandon with Ocean Air Realty. I hope you're doing well today. How are you?
I'm okay. Who is this
Hey,
again?
this is Brandon with Ocean Air Realty. Great question. Reason I'm calling, Megan, is you had registered on our website looking at some condos in Raleigh. I wanted to call and introduce myself and see a little bit about what's got you looking at homes on the internet.
I don't know. I'm just looking.
Just looking? Okay, I get it. Well, listen, I don't want to waste your time. I'm just going to cut right to the chase. We get dozens of people that register on our website every day. Most of those people want our help, and we're able to provide a valuable resource for them to help them along in their home search. Some people aren't. They're not really serious, and they're just registering to look at photos. So in the event that you are actually looking for a home or want some information on the home buying process in North Carolina or our market, I'd like to help you out. What can I do for you?
I don't really know. I'm just looking.
Just looking. Okay. Now I saw that you were looking at 3-bed, 2-bath condos. Is that kind of what you're envisioning, or are you not quite sure?
I'm not sure. I'm just looking.
Okay. I'm going to set you up on a search exactly like the properties that you're looking at right now. And I'm going to check in back with you in 3 weeks and see if you've got a better idea what it is you might want to be in one day. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Megan, you're a brick wall.
I know, that's pretty much like some of the people I've dealt with. Just looking.
Any suggestions for anything else that we could have done?
So what if she would have said, no, don't call me? What would you have said?
Yeah.
I would have said, okay, great. Best of luck. And I wouldn't have called her anymore. That saves me time. I don't have to prospect to somebody that's not going to give me any business.
Yeah, they never say don't call me. They're just always like, they just act like they're lost in the woods somewhere. Like, I don't know, I'm just looking. Like,
And why the hell are you calling me?
why'd you even decide to start registering on the website?
The only other thing I would have done probably is ask them about where they live now.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Start looking, if you're looking at something, it's because you're not happy with where you are, typically. So, well, tell me about where you live now. What's your place look like? Oh, yeah, do you rent it or do you own it?
That's good.
Might be able to slide away from there. If they rent, oh, really? What's your lease look like? Is it month to month? When's it up? Are you planning on renewing? Okay, well, then let me show you what a timeline would be for you to be in your own place. Or if they own it, okay, well, how long have you owned it? Who helped you when you bought it? Would you need to sell it to buy another place if you found one that you love? Something like that. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to get anything other than I'm just looking from those questions. But, that's what we're here for, is to probe. Just like the first episode of South Park. How about that reference? That was fantastic. All right, Janine, what were you thinking?
So I had this sweet lady that registered, and I got to talking to her for a while. And honestly, the conversation went very well, but there was one objection because after talking, I realized that she needed to sell, and I looked up her address while we were on the phone, and I was like, oh, hell, I need this listing. So, yeah. So, and then she told me her budget was pretty good too. And so then when I tried to close for the appointment, I always get, or not always, but a lot of the times I'll get, well, I'm not ready to meet with an agent yet. And then I said, okay, do you have anybody else that you're working with? Well, we've got a guy that can help us find home, so trying to overcome that. I said, and so our conversation it went really well. And I had told her, and she just went on and on about what she liked and she had written about and saw things. And I, pulled up the houses that she had mentioned. And anyway, long story short, I got the e-alert set up to the criteria for what she's looking at and told her I would follow up in 3 days and see if the listings make sense. And, said, and hopefully we can, make some time to meet each other face to face. And she was very open to that. So.
I'm glad that you've made some headway. I think you always have to be really careful when somebody mentions I've got somebody or I know somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's completely okay to be very upfront. And I always preface it with, well, I don't want to interfere with the relationship that you have.
Right.
I'm not going to risk my license.
But it didn't sound like, I said, oh, have they showed you are they showing you homes right now? No. But we know somebody. So I didn't spend too much time talking about that. And I don't know, maybe I should have.
I think, it's always a gut thing, right? I mean, how
Yeah.
far do I need to?
Yeah.
But I think when you say something like, I don't want to risk my license, people tend to at least be a little more honest with you and be like,
Okay.
hey, I'm here to help. But first of all, I don't want to risk my license. And second of all, I can't help you if you're going to be working with multiple people. That's our firm's policy.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're full-time and we're really good at what we do and we know what we're doing. Is this other person you're talking to a full-time agent? Is this all they do?
I feel like that's always a tough one for me when people
Say that again.
That's always a tough one for me when someone says they either know another agent, but then I don't want to sound pushy.
Well, have you signed paperwork?
Well, when I think everybody knows a real estate agent.
Right.
So I just had someone tell me that the other day and I was like, oh, okay. Have they shown you houses? And she's like, no, we're just starting. I said, are you under agency? And she had said, no. I don't remember how she said she knew them. And so I didn't really want to push, but then I said, okay, well, do they have a home search set up for you? And she said, no. So I said, well, why don't I go ahead and start a home search for you so you can keep an eye on what's available because you're just in the beginning stages. So it updates, every 10 minutes. It's a really good tool to have to see what's on the market, especially with how quickly our market's moving right now. I can set it instantly. And then that got us into the conversation of, okay, when she agreed, I was like, okay, what are you looking for? So I felt like that was a good way to overcome it.
Yeah. What can you ask that gives you an indication of how on top of the ball this other person is, maybe? Are they at all? Right?
And then having the search set up is a good way to have your name in front of them every day too.
Exactly. 100%. You want them to get that email with your picture in it every single day.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a great way that you provide value, the way you went about that discussion, Stephanie. And is to let them know, hey, I'm serious about this. And this is what I'm going to do for you. You're not getting this already? Well, then why are you talking to this other person? And maybe you say that straight out, or maybe that you float that so they can read between the lines, right? Something like that. That was a good one, Janine. Thank you for sharing that one. Anybody have anything else? Charles,
What do you do when, I've had a couple people that will say, well, my so-and-so is looking. I said, oh, that's fantastic. I'm happy to help. Well, I'll give them your phone number and your contact information. Well, and and I'm like, well, that's never going to happen. They're never going to call me if that's what they do. And then a lot of the times I said, well, I'm more than happy to reach out if you want to share their information. Well, I'm going to make sure that it's okay with them so obviously you want to not cross the line and be disrespectful and honor that in their privacy and make sure they've got permission to send it out. But I mean, I get that a lot too. And I feel like the follow-up sometimes goes nowhere. But I did have one lady whose daughter gave me her contact information, and I called her, and it went really well. And she didn't recognize the number, obviously, when I called her, and was like, "Oh, why are you calling me?" Oh, okay. So I just feel like a lot of the times people are very hesitant to give out the information.
They usually are.
Yeah.
Charles, what were you going to say?
My opinion on it is I don't want to waste my time after
Yeah.
this a bunch where it's like, oh yeah, I'm looking for my son or I'm looking for my daughter. Okay,
Right.
your number.
Right.
And
Right.
if they're, I don't really know if I want to do that. And be like, well, look, you're already spending time looking for them.
Right.
We help you, help them.
Right.
What's their phone number and what's their email? I'm going to go and help them directly.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to give that information, trash. And I move on to the next day because at that point, if they're not going to give it to you then, nothing that you say is going to change their mind if they've already decided they're not going to give you the information.
And I completely agree with that. And I
Okay.
Are you a real estate agent? Well, then let me do the work when
Yeah.
they know. And just say, look, why don't you do this? Call them, tell them we talked, and then I'm here to help, and make sure it's okay that you share their information with me. I'll call you back tomorrow.
I've got some input. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I'm driving. I had that happen to me yesterday. It was a mother that registered on the site, invalid email. I finally got her on the phone and she said, I'm just looking for my daughter. She's been pre-qualified and I'm concerned because her agent has not taken her out to look at homes yet. Well, of course, I salivated at that and I was like, well, do you want me to call her? And she's like, well, same thing you just ran into. And I said, okay, I respect that. And she probably doesn't want mom telling her what to do. So do me a favor, go to my Zillow page, read what people say about me, send her that link. I've got a lot of first-time home buyers that I've helped on there. If she doesn't want to read that and take your advice, then, at least I tried.
100%. I think it would be great for everybody to have a template email like that set up that's not part of your qualified drip that says, hey, here's my bio video. Here's our team about us video. Here's a link to our Google reviews. Here's a link to my Zillow reviews. Read about us. Here's my profile. So you know who you're dealing with. Now that people get that for the most part in the qualified drip, but not if you actually talk to them on the phone. So you need to set that up, something like that up, so you can.
Yeah, I pointed out that there's over 9,000 agents in the triangle. So, you've got a lot of choices, but, not everybody is great at what they do. So just take a look at what past clients have said about me. And that's all we can do from there. We can't force them to give us the number.
That's right.
Can we say it doesn't make much sense to go through your elbow to wipe your ass?
Yes, you could say that verbatim.
I like that.
I think I would just be like, look, I appreciate that, and I'm sure they appreciate that you're doing it too, but I'm a professional and this is what I do every day. I'll copy you on everything so you're in the loop and you can continue to have a conversation with them, but I can't really help them if I'm not in direct contact with them. And legally, they're going to be the ones that sign the documents anyway.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. They're going to end up being the clients anyway, so I need to speak with them.
Right. Yeah. And so,
That was a way more eloquent way of saying what I said, Doug.
All types, right? I think you can also, like I said, I would have that email prepared and be like, hey, here's all my contact information. Forward it to your daughter or whoever and copy me. And then we're all in one conversation together. And I'll keep you in the loop. It's not like I'm going to kick you out of this, but let me help you. Because I've got the experience you need to make your best move. Right, Lonnie?
And I did sell a house last year with the same situation you guys are talking about, where the crazy aunt called and, it took a while, but eventually she did give me their information and we found a house for them. So it works.
I mean, to Charles's point, I wouldn't spend a lot of time if they're making it pretty clear up front that they're never going to connect you, but give them
Yeah.
reason to connect you other than just saying, hey, connect me. This is why you should connect me. Look at all this about who we are and what we do and what I am, you know, and just make it easy. Send that email and say, forward it to them and copy me. Or just say, look, I'm sure before they even give you, or before they even take the opportunity to say, well, I'm not sure if they want me to share their info, say, look, I'm sure you want to make sure it's okay that you give me their info first. Why don't you give them a call, and then I'll call you back tomorrow, and you can give it to me then after you talk to them. Something like that.
Give them a heads up.
Lead the conversation, set expectations, tell them what's going to happen next. And does that mean it's always going to work? No, of course not. But it's a lot more direct, and you'll have a lot better success than just saying, well, hey, why don't you put me in touch with them? Okay, that was a good one. What else? Okay. These don't always have to last forever. So let's just end it where we are. That's fine. I'm sure you guys have plenty to do anyways. The calls are going to be pushed a little today just because somebody's supposed to be in the office to meet with some of us here in the Triangle at 10:30. So I'll be texting those of you who I'm supposed to talk with today. And if you need anything, hit me on the side. Otherwise, I'll talk to you Thursday or Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right. You guys have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks, bye.